And the next speaker, Mr. Emmanuel, if I can find you somewhere. No.
Video is not covering the slides, you are covering the slides here, right? Okay. Thank you, man. You guys are model people. You deserve Devroom award.
Hello everyone, I am Kavibhagya, a second year student from Chennai Institute of Technology. First, I would like to start with a quick question. How many of you ever thought about contributing to open source but you stopped because you felt it was too technical, too complicated, or just not for beginners? Yeah, that was me too. I used to look at projects like AOSP and think that there is no way that a beginner like me can contribute to this monster of a project. Then, here's the truth. But open source is not just for beginners. It's for experts, not just for experts. It's for beginners, learners, and anyone who is curious enough to take the first step. And today, I would love to share how simple that first step can be. First thing, let me come into a very interesting question. Why open source? Open source is not just about writing code. It's about learning how real world projects actually work. When you contribute, you get to know about large professional code bases, collaborate with people across the globe, and you'll improve your communication because explaining your code is as important as writing it. And the most important thing is your code gets used by real people. This was life changing for me, and I want all the beginners to look at open source not as a scary mountain but as a welcoming playground. To prove that you don't need to be an expert to start, let me share my own tiny story. I started contributing in Signal Android. I started searching the repo and found a bug in a dialog box where the send and cancel buttons were misaligned. I know it's a small UI bug, but it caught my eye when I was scrolling through the issues. But then I searched the repo, found the layout file, and made a tiny XML fix and submitted the PR. But honestly, submitting that create PR was so scarier than writing the code. Then what happened is, here comes the twist. The maintainers asked me to build and run the entire Android code base to test my change. And guess what? My laptop just couldn't handle it because the build was way too heavy, and as a result my PR didn't get merged. At first I felt, oh no, I failed, I'm useless, and so on. But then I realized something really important. Open source is just for beginners, as I already said, and this is anyhow, even if it is not merged, this is my very first step into Android. I have actually read the real source code, found a bug, written a fix, and also interacted with the maintainers. That experience gave me the confidence to keep going, and I want you all to know that your first step doesn't need to be perfect. Even an unmerged PR, even a tiny fix, or even trying, it all counts as progress. Now, let me get into the core part of this lightning talk, which is how beginners can get into open source with AOSP. I'll break this down into simple steps for anyone who is ready to start. Step 1. Explore, don't rush. Start by browsing the repo. AOSP is huge, I understand. Don't let it overwhelm you. Search the repo, understand the structure, and notice what interests you the most, because that is what drives us to do great things. Step 2. Start small. Look for documentation issues, small bugs, or even UI fixes. That's how I started. Step 3 is follow the good first issues. These are like tutorial levels in a video game. It'll be so fun. And step 4 is build and break. Set up the environment as you want, and don't fear breaking things up, because that is how we learn things. Step 5 is engage with the community. Remember that open source is about community as much as code actually. Comment on issues, ask questions in the community. That is how we have to be engaged in the community. It will help you a lot. The next thing is, I know AOSP is not exactly beginner friendly, and here are some of the challenges that I certainly faced and you might also face. Yeah. Challenge number 1 is the giant build systems. Usually it will be so like you can't even look through the build systems. Your laptop literally starts crying after going through all those build systems. And challenge number 2 is gaps in documentations. Sometimes it might feel like treasure hunting while going through the documentations. It will be so challenging. And challenge number 3 is strict review cultures. As I already said, like the review system works like your PR can easily be rejected with just one line saying needs testing. So that is how my PR also got rejected. And sorry. Next, let's get into the lessons that stuck with me. First lesson was contributions is not about size. Even one line matters in contributions. And the second lesson is open source is the best teacher you can ever have, because you'll get to learn about more cool coding practices and tools that college never teaches you in your life. And the lesson number 3 is confidence beats expertise. You doesn't need to know everything before starting. And that is how we actually learn walking, right? Like doing things and learning by them. And let's get into the most interesting part, how contributing to AOSP will change you as an engineer. Contributing to AOSP will completely change how you yourself look as an engineer. It will make you unafraid of large code bases. It will also it will help you to learn how global collaborations work, and it will give you the experience how real world projects work beyond textbook, because it is something you can't learn by reading textbooks, right? And the most important thing is you will get the confidence after contributing to AOSP. Like you will feel like you definitely belong in the developer community, and that is very powerful. And after gaining that confidence, you'll never look at yourself as just a beginner again. That is very powerful for me. To end with, this is the message I want to leave you with. Open source is not an exclusive club. It is an inclusive community where each and every step of your journey matters a lot. If someone like me, just an unmerged PR with just a UI fix can start, then so can you, right? Because that one small step matters a lot in your journey. And maybe, just maybe, when we meet in the next conference like IndiaFOSS, you will be the one standing in the stage and sharing your own story. Thank you.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah, I'm open to any questions related to AOSP. Yes.
How did you feel? How did you feel when you first made your pull request to Signal?
Seriously, it was scary, as I already said.
Okay.
I am not certain whether this works or not or anything, but I just wanted to do it. That's it.
Okay. It was an accessibility related pull request,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So it's really good that you had an eye on it.
Yeah, then let me end it.
Thank you very much, Kavi.